Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me, as always, to discuss the mad upside-down world of Tottenham Hotspur, it's Stefan.
It is I. How are we?
Humble, apologetic, in my place, just some of the adjectives. So we're going to go straight into this because nothing pleases people more than someone making a tit of themselves, as I have found out this week.
I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, you do. Don't be a dick. So, last week on the show, for anyone who might have missed it, and therefore I'm about to sound foolish again, we were given our predictions for the season ahead. In that, one of the questions was who would get the most assists, and I said for Tottenham, the most assists would come from a certain player signed from Crystal Palace called Eze. On the day I said that, I was told independently by two different people who are, for me...
you now?
No, honestly, mate, they're so reliable with stuff like this. To me, it was done.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say who one of them is without it causing a problem.
Okay, yeah.
But he's in a position where if he is preparing to do his job, which he was, it's done. So, from a club point of view, they all believed it was done, and then it wasn't done in just the worst possible way. I think this is one of those moments where once again I need to take this sort of on the chin and say at 42 years of age I should know better, and until they're holding the shirt it's not done.
Yeah.
And what is, I guess what's kind of funny, it's funny for me because I hold back sharing loads of stuff on the podcast, which I talk to you about and in our group chat. And as much as you'll want to wind me up about this, 99% of the time I'm right.
Yeah, I'd say you're normally spot on with the people that you know.
Yes.
You're normally fairly spot on.
Yeah, and so it's like one of those things where I kind of look at that and I've said this on the podcast because it wasn't that I was sure, it was done. Like it was all bar the announcement. I'm kind of like, well, I know that's in place. It's just going to get announced once they've sorted out these last bits of, is he going to play in that game, is he not? I don't know how much you followed this since then, because I was angry. I was like really cross, but the people who told me were angry. Like, so I'm not like angry at them. Like everyone was angry, right? And everyone was angry because they felt like they'd been played. And it now turns out they were. I mean, if you read between the lines again, like I've done with different things over the time. So again, this is my opinion based on the bits of information that are available and a few bits that I've been told. The player agreed a deal, the clubs agreed a fee with each other, and then the player stalled and then said, I kind of want to play in this game. It's a big deal to the club. And Spurs were like, we really don't want you to do that because there's a risk of injury, we've done this deal, we want to get you in for a medical. And it was like, look, the club want me to play in the game, I want to play in the game. There was a lot of kind of stalling over that, and what we've now found out is in that time, he actually was in direct contact with Arsenal. Literally rang.
Are you guys going to put a bid in or not?
Yeah. Now, I said this on the pod last week, he's a Arsenal fan, his whole family are Arsenal fans. I said it in a kind of, they messed him around earlier in the window. Hopefully that means he'll join us with a bit of a, well, you bar stewards, I'll show you.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that is not the way it went. Arsenal. See, the thing is about this again, and it's like one of those things like sliding doors moments. Havertz got injured. They've signed him because he was available to them. He was basically begging to join them. They matched the offer that we'd done. Away it went.
Yep.
The thing that frustrates me about this, and I think it's the thing that frustrates a lot of fans, is it should never have happened. And there will be a lot of revising of history with this because Tottenham are incredible at PR, at spin, at turning this around. And you'll notice, even I've started this podcast by talking about this, the spin and the PR and the narrative is he just wanted Arsenal. He messed us around. We thought the deal was done. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah, not our fault, their fault, not me.
Yeah, the player did this. We've been stung here. The fans are let down. We're let down. But there's nothing we could have done. So the deal... Now, I'm going to use just round figures and just kind of basic figures on this, okay? The deal roughly 68 million, right?
Yep.
And there's add-ons, there's different bits of it, but just again, let's call it 68 million. Arsenal have come in, matched our offer that was accepted. He's gone there. Do you know, and I think it's one of the worst kept secrets in football, that Etse had a release clause?
Yes.
Do you know what the release clause value was?
I'm going to guess 68 million.
Correct.
Yeah.
That release clause was valid until the day before the Premier League started. So up until the first game of the season, a club could come in, lodge a bid of 68 million and be allowed to speak to the player, based on the release clause, etc. is there. My understanding, and you can find this in the press, this is out there, our opening offer was way short of 60 million.
Of course it was.
And then we negotiated for 2 weeks until we finally agreed to pay the 68 million, which was what the release clause was, 2 weeks prior. 2 weeks prior, Arsenal had zero interest in signing the player. They'd looked at him earlier in the window. They talked to Crystal Palace about 30 to 35 million with different things added in, and Palace were adamant, no, he's not leaving for that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I think, went back in about 45, but then walked away themselves because they got another player to sign a new deal, and they were like, oh, actually, no, we don't need him. Yep. Arsenal's stance changed when Havertz got injured. So that happened, I think, 3 days before they came in and signed him.
Yeah, they moved. I think it was within like 48 hours, I think it was. They had gone from injury had been announced to here's our new player.
Yeah, right. So, and the way you've just put that, you know exactly where I'm going next. So, the point is on that, is if we had gone in 2 weeks earlier at the amount we settled on 2 weeks later, we would have signed him. Because Arsenal weren't in the picture. And even if he picked up the phone then, look, I'm on the verge of joining Tottenham, I'm a boyhood Arsenal fan, is there availability? Arsenal would have been like, no, there's not. Because
we're not looking in that position right now, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And the deal would have got done. The player would have wrapped it, forget the whole side argument of do you want to sign a player that doesn't want to play for you? That's a side thing and I completely get that. But my point is, like 2 weeks prior, that deal could have been done. And 2 weeks prior, when we started those talks, was shortly after we learned that Maddison's out for the season. Now, as you've just pointed out, Havertz's serious injury is going to require surgery. They've announced now.
Yeah.
And that means that they have immediately gone out and signed a replacement. A Premier League proven quality player in his prime. And they've gone and bought him.
And they've done that pretty much instantly.
Yeah, because he was there and he was available to go and buy.
Yeah.
We lost our playmaker, our 10. The only other player we have on the side who can play 10, who I wouldn't really call a playmaker but can play there, is Decky, who is also long-term injured. So we do not have anyone in the squad who can fit that role. The only player we had that could, we've loaned out because he's an academy product. you then have that situation where Etse was available then. 68 million signs him. So if after 2 weeks of talking and going over everything, you've ended up at that price, that's embarrassing. That is where I have an issue with our club right now. And I saw someone tweet this, and I read it and laughed, and then the more I thought about it, the more I think actually it's funny, but it's actually really quite correct. If Daniel Levy was Daniel Levy, the recruiter's boss, Daniel Levy would have fired Daniel Levy 20 years ago.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. If you think about performance, if you think about every aspect of this football club is always reviewed continually. Coaches are brought in and fired. Players are brought in and sold. Everything is continually assessed. The medical side, sports science. They've just undergone a second overhaul, a second summer in a row, because the last overhaul was deemed absolutely diabolical, and now the new coaching, they've done it again.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to improve things, we're going to have to wait and see. But the club is continually doing these assessments, like, we're not happy with this, we're going to change this, we're not happy with this, we're going to do this. Who does Daniel Levy's? No one.
You have to assume absolutely no one.
No. And we have always, fans, have got a list of players that are nearly signs. These are players that we were like right there, and then something at the 11th hour, or something's come up, like Moutinho, the fax machine, it didn't go through, so it didn't get done in time, deal off.
Yep.
Dybala, never know how to say his name. Image rights and everything came up at the last minute. None of those things are a problem if you've given yourself the time to deal with them. Like the image rights thing, in a day, they nearly fixed. In like 6-7 hours. So if you'd agreed the fee a week ago, the deal's done.
Yeah.
It's the brinkmanship, it's the nickel and dime negotiations of, okay, 55 million, no, the price is 60. Okay, 56, no, the price is 60. Okay, 57, no, Daniel, the price is this. Years ago, that might have worked. And on Premier League teams, lower in the division, it might have worked. The financial power in the Premier League now means even if you finish 17th, hello.
Ironic, yep.
You have the financial power and the clout to say, no, sod off. He's our player. We will sell at the price we value him at. You look at some of the transfers that have happened in the Premier League and the fees. Football's in a bubble, we know that. But you look at some of the fees that these clubs are getting for their players. I mean, Manchester United have replaced their front three this summer, and they've signed two, in my opinion, high-quality Premier League proven players in Cunha and Mbolu.
Yeah.
Is that how you say his name? Mbolu?
Mbulu, yeah, something like that.
Asking you how to pronounce something really is like scraping
Yeah, that's
the
just
barrel,
evil, really, isn't it? It's quite
Mbomo?
evil. Yeah.
Mbomo. I want to say Mbomo.
Mbomo, yeah.
I'm from Bristol. I have an excuse. I can't say anything. But
I'm from Essex and just a bit of a dick.
How much have they spent on those two players?
Yeah, they spent, 55 and 62 or something?
Yeah. All right. So that's those clubs who have sold them. That's Wolves and Brentford. Like those are, with the greatest respect, and please do think this is respectful. They're mid-table Premier League teams. They're selling the Manchester United. And they are cashing in. Like they could have held out. Like they cashed in on those players, and because they are in the financial position that they can say no, f off. Daniel Levy doing his kind of what about this incremental thing? The stick's old now. Every chairman in the league, probably every chairman in Europe, probably dreads hearing from him. Like, oh, here we go again.
You've got a call from Daniel Levy. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, and this is pure guesswork, but like if you've got a player and Tottenham want to sign him, and Levy calls, I mean, I would literally be starting a conversation with, look, we value him at this. You offer that, and we'll talk. If you are going to offer me lower than that, I'm not even going to engage with you.
Like you're at that point where you'd almost be tempted to go, right, he's a £50 million player.
Yeah.
Who's calling? Daniel Levy. Right, he's a £70 million player.
Oh, you think that happens?
We might get somewhere near what we're asking for.
I genuinely think that probably happens. It must do, because the guy must piss everybody off. Now, the fact he has done that has got to this point now where you're like, someone else needs to be leading these talks, these negotiations. Someone else needs to be in charge of this. Is that the guy we've recruited from Arsenal, who I am really not... I don't know, I've got really mixed feelings over that for a lot of reasons.
After everything that happened with the Arsenal when it happened, it doesn't sit well with me.
No. I mean, he literally was residing over the regime at Arsenal that covered up what Thomas Partey was doing, made the decision to cover it up, made the decision that he was allowed to continue playing at the club. I'd love to think my football club's better than that. I think we all would. I don't necessarily.
That's the problem. I don't think any club is above that, really.
No,
I mean,
me, like just me as a person, I like. I mean, heaven forbid I was an Arsenal fan ever, because what a disgusting thought. I wouldn't have been able to support a club with him there. Like, just as a person. Like, no. You are literally playing someone. Like, no, I'm not. I just couldn't do it. I'd have to walk away. And that would hurt me. Like at Tottenham, in that scenario, that would hurt me massively. And so, just the fact that we're being tainted with that now, just kind of, I don't like it, and if I feel like it needs to be addressed, I completely understand why it won't be, and I completely understand.
That's never being mentioned to anyone ever, is it?
But I just, like, to me, it feels like it needs to be addressed. But then, I also know plenty of fans don't give a crap, which, you know, again hurts me a bit. But that's what it is. But this whole transfer thing, this whole window, the Morgan Gibbs-White thing. Morgan Gibbs-White's now given an interview where he's added a whole other layer to this as well. Have you seen this?
I've not.
His wife, heavily pregnant at the time of all the transfer saga, was finding it incredibly stressful. The whole idea of moving to London, the whole idea of everything. And he said he basically made the decision because of her stress levels and his family that he had to pull the plug on everything and, you know, put her first and his family first. And he's happy with his decision and signed his new deal, etc., etc. That doesn't contradict anything I've been told. It just adds a very human element from his point of view. And all of that, his wife pregnant and all that kind of stuff, 100% is true.
Yeah.
What is a little interesting, and I'm just going to throw this out there and people can read into this what they want. Stressed about moving to London. One of the first indicators, Tottenham, because by the way, Tottenham Twitter is like a group of super sleuths. They are insane. And the minute there was a rumour, the minute someone went, oh, Morgan Gibbs-White, there's a release clause, people found her following list and found all of her most recent additions on Instagram were like beauty salons and stuff in London. So she really was against the whole thing, clearly. You can tell, like, there was no aspect of her looking forward to living in London in any way, shape or form. Look, that whole situation, you only got to look at the video of him with Marinakis when he's talking about his new deal to know that was fucked up, what happened there.
Yeah.
And
something has happened somewhere that no one's allowed to ever talk about.
From my, I talked about this last week. I feel like we fucked up in our offer. I feel like the players' representatives made a mistake in handing that information out. Of course, this is all my opinion, just not to get anyone in trouble. And I think the player was forced into an impossible situation where he had to do what he did, because otherwise it was going to cause problems for everyone. And
a few people.
His wife probably was then at that point stressed out of her friggin' eyeballs, and he probably did have that to worry about. And I can 100% understand why you'd make that call, because your family does always and should come first.
Yeah.
But this window, from a Tottenham point of view, from that issue to SA going to Arsenal, and now the big deal we're trying to pull off is for Xavi Simons. Is it Simons or Simmons?
Simmons, I believe.
Is just like, watching this happen is like when, I don't know if you've ever been in a car crash where everything feels like it slows down.
Yeah.
So watching this progress is just like that for me. Like I feel like I'm watching this knowing the end result is going to be me in a field upside down. The car's going to roll several times.
Yeah, I don't feel confident in any way, shape or form that this stuff's going to happen.
No, and the thing that makes it a million times worse for me now is any confidence I used to have
You're now worrying about, is that going to happen?
Yeah, because I mean, I had a really great conversation with the same gentleman who informed me the Etse deal was done, and that conversation went along the lines of, "Do you have any feeling on this?" And he said to me, "Yeah, meetings went really well today, but who knows, because." We had a player a week or so ago going, all agreed, everything, handshakes, and we'll schedule this. Yeah, we'll do that. And then he went and signed for another team, and not just any other team, the worst team. And then you've got Chelsea, who of course still with their fans with their song over Willian, are sat smiling, thinking we could do it again.
Yeah.
So we have that issue. So I like I said, man, it is so up in the air. I am loathed now to talk about it. I'm loathed to say anything else other than it looks positive from a conversation point of view, but there's still a lot of money stuff to be done, and when we all know our chairman will haggle over every pound on every part of the deal, and if someone comes in who isn't going to do that and he's just going to stick the money on the table, we lose out.
We know where he's going, don't we? Yeah,
exactly. So let's. The one thing I would say is there's a lot of reporting about him, heart set on Chelsea and all that kind of stuff. He was heavily courted by them for quite a while, and they've not agreed a deal or whatever. They've not done it. He today has been in London and has had the tour, so to speak, and is very impressed. So I've kind of said this before, infrastructure-wise at the club, I don't think anyone arrives and goes, oh, what a dump. I think everyone arrives and goes, oh, wow, this is okay. This is something.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good the stadium is.
Yeah.
We know that at one point we had this incredible training centre. It doesn't seem to have had. You will know more about this than I will, about whether that has had the updates, I suppose, as such. Like,
yeah,
I know how quickly football moves.
Yeah.
And what was incredible 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't always mean it's incredible now.
Well, I can just give you a very brief example on that, which is kind of interesting. Under Pochettino, it was state of the art. Like, literally everything was kept up to date.
Yeah.
And from a sports science point of view, from training facilities and equipment. We then had a series of managers who were
Dinosaurs.
old school. As in, they didn't see the relevance in a lot of things. Oh, we don't need that. That's not important. That doesn't matter. And so there was a severe lapse, which under Ange was brought back up to date. My understanding is that new boss Thomas Frank has made a couple of tweaks, but was very happy with everything. But most of his tweaks were around personnel, He wanted certain people in certain positions for analysts and stuff like that. But no, from the facilities point of view, it is now.
It's back up there. Okay, well that's good to know, because there was a little bit of me that was like, it's a bit like buying a laptop. This week it's fantastic, next week it's outdated.
Mate, you're absolutely spot on. You're like you build it and then immediately it's out of date. Like the stadium, Tottenham Stadium is incredible. It is still absolutely incredible. Everton's new stadium does have bits to it that you're like, oh man, that's really cool. because it's just the newer version, and you even like I'll tell you something that's really nice. Did you see the thing on the opening for the Everton Stadium? There's a whole thing about our stadium.
No.
Did you see that? Yeah, so the Everton senior management team, apparently Daniel Levy met with them and stuff and talked them through, and basically was like, these are all the problems we ran into, these are the solutions we found. And they literally did this nice little paragraph saying about how football rivalry aside, it was incredibly helpful, really, really enabled them to get the best out of the site and everything. So yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of nice.
He probably charged them for it.
Yeah. If when we're playing Everton this season, they score an own goal at some point, I'm gonna call bullshit. Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah.
Pickford just turns around and blasts a back pass in at the near post. You're like, wait a second.
As negative and as frustrating as the transfer situation is, the one thing that I cannot be frustrated or negative about is our performance against Manchester City at the weekend.
That was quite a gameplay.
There are two things about this which is hilarious to me. One is the fact that we continue to be their bogey team, and we are in their heads. There are players in that Manchester City side that look frazzled playing us. They don't Erling Haaland genuinely looks like one of those players in Space Jam that loses their skills against us, and has that look on his face of I do this every day. What the fuck is wrong with me when I play this lot? And it just, you can actually, honestly, it feels like they're fans in the stadium. We scored a goal and it just felt like, oh no, again. And I mean, I loved every minute of it. The second part of it is very funny to me. I've voiced my feelings and my fears around Thomas Frank. I feel like I've done that and I don't need to keep doing it. Anyone who listens know that, and I've also said, and I hope people have listened to this as well, I obviously want it to succeed. Of course I do. But the fact that we beat Man City 2-0 and so many people who listened to the show thought that was a thing to hit me with, I was over the moon. Why would you think that bothered me?
Yeah.
And I did used to see it last season. People oh, hopefully we'll get Dick today, and then Andrew gets sacked, and I'm like, really? I mean, what? I know I liked Ange, so maybe I didn't get it, but yeah. So I was over the moon, and the thing that really impressed me is I've seen us beat Man City so many times now. It's old hat, whatever.
It's quite fun though. Isn't
can
it?
We play you every week? But that was up there. Do you remember when Kane was linked to them all summer, and then we went to their ground and we beat them 3-2, and Kane was incredible.
We dicked them. Yeah.
We dicked them 3-2.
Yeah.
But we played really well that day. We played really well. But it was a really good game, end-to-end game. Man City probably at the height of their powers as well. But Kane was on another level, and we beat them 3-2. That was probably the best I've ever seen us play against them until this weekend, where we didn't just defend and counter, which is what I feared we were going to do, which I saw under Jose, under Conte, saw under the other one. And don't get me wrong, they won those games, so it's difficult to kind of be critical of it, but I was like, oh, this is going to be so crap. I saw the way we set up against PSG. It really doesn't inspire me, but we didn't do that.
Yeah, and, as I say, you were just saying that. Who was it? We've had it a couple of times, haven't we? Where we seem to end up playing Man City in the first or second game.
Yeah.
Fairly often now.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
And it's one of those ones where I'm like, okay, now this is, for me, this is always a nice indicator because early season, you kind of look at it and you go, right, how are we going to play? First game of the season, okay, we played a newly promoted club who were always going to sit a bit deeper.
Yeah.
You can't take much from that other than we won the match. We played well, we won the match.
Yeah, I mean, we both kind of said that, didn't we? It was like, 3-0 wins, excellent, brilliant, but what did we learn? Not
kind of what was expected of the game.
Yeah.
To then go away at Man City, you kind of look at it and you go, okay, that's a performance that's worth going, okay, let's just take notice of that one.
It is, and the one thing I'd say is it is providing you back it up. Like, I don't know about you, but I've seen so many times with Tottenham teams, and like I look at this, and I said this under Ange, and I hope people remember this. There's certain things that I look at when a new coach has come in, he's implementing the way he wants to play, and there's certain things I look at and I think, right, I want to see what happens now. Like, so we've just had a really good win. We now have an international break coming up. Our record before international breaks is abysmal. I mean,
last season was just awful.
Oh, we lost every one. So last season we lost everyone. Under Ange, we got one draw and the rest were defeats. Prior to him, the record isn't much better. You got to go all the way back to Jose's first season and Pochettino before that, before it wasn't a factor. Now, for whatever reason, I remember me and you talking about it last year, it was like, what is it? Are the players switching off?
Yeah, are they ready to go?
Are their heads on the plane? Like, what the hell is going on? So, this weekend for me is actually a kind of like a double test of where we're at, and it's not a case of I'd write us off if it goes badly, but my point is at the moment I'm looking at this saying, okay, Thomas Frank is having this impact. First game did exactly what we needed to do, brilliant. Second game, phenomenal, cannot fault it, brilliant. Johnson scored. Paulinho got his first goal, great pressing, blown away by the work ethic in the game, delighted with it. But you then have to back that up, because if you go away to Manchester City, win, then you lose at home to Bournemouth, that kind of undoes it. That's my opinion. That's not disrespecting Bournemouth, but you then do that undoes that work you've done, in my opinion. And Tottenham do that a lot.
I can't argue that.
Tottenham do that a lot. You go and get a really great result against the top side, and in the next game, utter dross and shite. You then add to that this is before an international break, and I think this is actually, again, first game up, interesting. Second game away to Man City, okay, that's interesting. We've passed both of those tests really with high marks for me.
Yeah.
This is the next one, and it's a big one, because the international break thing, someone at the club should be talking to Thomas Frank and go, right, this is an issue. Look at our last 4 seasons. Yeah.
What can we do?
And you need to be making the squad aware of it, like it's unacceptable. From day one, like they need to be on this, and it needs to be a performance. It needs to demonstrate that we are serious and this is going to be a good season for us. Because, like I said, if you lose this game, play poorly, that's the international break then, where all of us are just like,
Here we go again.
It just takes us back there. Now, I talk about these kind of like tests, if you like. So this weekend against Bournemouth, that is a thing. The League Cup draw was last night. The League Cup draw has us home to Doncaster. We will 100% play a rotated side in that. Of course we will. It's home to Doncaster Rovers.
Yeah.
We will, all the fixtures coming up, we will be rotating the side. That, again, for me, is a massive indicator of where Thomas Frank is and where the squad is. We have not, under Pochettino, Jose, Conte, the other one, and then Ange, and I remember talking about this under Ange, at no point have we made, say, 5 changes to a lineup and looked good.
Oh, God, Tamworth away. That was a decent. It was a decent squad, but they'd rotated a bit, and you thought to yourself, okay, this will be easy.
Yeah, there is an issue there around that. There is an issue around performance. I have always been of the opinion that if you have squad players and you have players there who are going to rotate in and stuff, there needs to be something about them, or there needs to be a feeling that they are all part of everything. So far, we're only 2 games in, but it's pretty clear that he's playing people, he's rotating people straight away, and everyone feels they've got a chance. With all the substitutions you got now as well, everyone feels they're involved and they're contributing. There's no like if I was to say to you a midfield 3 against Doncaster of Gray, Berval, and Sarr.
Yep.
That should be more than enough.
You would like to think that would quite happily.
Well,
looking as well at those players played quite a few games last season in the Premier League. That shouldn't be a problem at all.
No. And they were the midfield 3 against Burnley.
Yep.
So my point is there shouldn't be any reason at all why a rotated side with the squad players we've got and everything shouldn't win that game and win that game well. It shouldn't be. But every season we have those games, and every season
we look at it and we go, oh crap.
Well, we're all ready to put our heads for a wall because it doesn't make sense. You're all good players. What? It's a mental thing. You've just shown up thinking you're going to win, whereas the other team has shown up like it's their cup final.
Yeah. Why do we expect to win every game? I mean, not being funny. Look at this week: Man United versus Grimsby Town.
I wasn't going to bring that up, buddy, because I didn't want you to be hurting on the podcast.
I live 20 minutes away from Grimsby.
Yeah.
My job entails me seeing a lot of different people every day.
Yeah.
I didn't realise there were so many freaking football fans around. Every single person. Did you watch football last night? No, I didn't. No. It wasn't my team. Why would I have watched it? No, I didn't. But
it wasn't
banana skin wise.
Yeah.
Banana skin wise, it shows it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the fact that Grimsby had to go to penalties against crap like Man United shows that any side can show up on the day. But yeah. The mighty Grimsby, well done to them.
Just quickly as well, as we're talking about cups and stuff,
yep.
Would you like to know who we have been drawn in the Champions League?
Literally the next thing I was going to ask.
I have it here. Well, I've been trying to piece it together. I've got BBC Sport up, and they're announced a team at a time, and I've been putting it together from who's been announced. I'm like, we've got them.
I have it because someone's just texted me it.
Yeah, I've now got it here as well.
Oh,
so,
good.
Oh my goodness me. So, we go to Borussia Dortmund at home.
Hooray!
PSG away.
Oh.
Villarreal at home.
Hooray!
Frankfurt away.
Oh.
Slavia Prague home.
Hooray!
Bodo Glimt away.
Oh, not Bodo again. Yeah.
Copenhagen at home.
Hooray!
And Monaco away.
Oh, no, that's a day out. Yeah, depending on when that is, that's a day. Anyone up for that? Yeah, that's a night. That's a good one.
A night? Come on, I can't afford a night in Monaco.
Mate, we need to talk. Oh, that's a night out. It's a bit like Vegas, but without so many crazy Americans.
Oh, sounds good.
I love you, Americans. Really?
He doesn't.
Stefan does, though. Stefan really does, because he's come into your glorious country at some point, so he can't say anything bad about your glorious leader, because if he does, he won't be allowed in.
Yeah, they've got me over a barrel there, haven't they, really? They
really have. You've got to show up and praise all orange.
It turns out, yeah, when you actually enter the country, the first thing you have to do is write him a note saying how amazing he is.
Yes, and how he doesn't have a teeny tiny penis.
Yeah.
South Park, I absolutely love you. Anyway, moving on from that.
That is quite a draw.
I mean, that's interesting because one, there's a few teams I recognise from the Europa League in there, and everyone told me how shite us winning the Europa League was because the teams are shit, and yet we seem to be playing them all.
Blow Glimt again, yep.
Yeah, we seem to be facing them all in the Champions League now, so I'm guessing that doesn't count anymore. PSG away is cruel. Like that's unnecessary. Like we just played them, and we played really well against them, and they're probably mad about it. So that doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
No, that's one of those teams we didn't need that one.
No, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, and this is gonna sound. That's a very achievable when you think about the number of wins you need to get through. The issue is, and this takes us back, the squad isn't good enough to do all 4 competitions. It just isn't. We are 3, maybe 4 players light, and the club are desperately trying to get 2 in.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, I could be proven horrifically wrong, but one of my big concerns about Thomas Frank is, and everyone knows it, is he's never managed in Europe, never managed a 4 competition season before, and it feels like we're handing him a squad that's like, okay, so last season we had this massive injury issue because we were trying to play in 4 competitions and we couldn't manage it. You want to play this high press game like against Man City where we were brilliant, but we're not giving you enough players to rotate. So we basically know at some point this whole squad's going to break down. Yeah. And at that point, we're all going to be looking at you going, oh, God, he ain't that good, is he?
Yeah, what happened to him? Yeah. I tell you what, we think ours is bad. You've got a feel for Olympiacos.
Okay.
Madrid at home.
Yeah.
Barcelona away.
Yeah.
Leverkusen at home, Arsenal away,
yeah.
PSV Eindhoven at home, Ajax away.
I mean, that's...
Poor buggers.
it's why you want to play in the top competition, though, isn't it? You want to play
you want those away days and stuff, yeah. I think this is probably why I actually like this new format.
Yeah, I don't... So when I first saw it, I thought it was a mess. When the competition got going last year, I really got quite into it. I quite enjoyed it. The one thing I'd say is the league, the Champions League kind of thing. I don't know. It just I liked the groups thing. I liked that. I liked that aspect of it. But yeah, I don't know. A change always. You know, I'm an old man, so change is always difficult for me. But last season's competition, once it was really going, there were some amazing games. Like I just watched some games and was like, wow, this is really top level.
Yeah, I think that was the thing for it. Like, I probably watched more Champions League games last season than I probably would have not. I mean, we weren't even in it and I still watched some.
Yeah.
But there were games in it where I was like, oh my God, these two are playing each other. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, and it was interesting, and I mean, you look at that and you think to yourself, okay, there is a real opportunity there. My concern will immediately go to the squad depth, and that is my fear, and that has nothing to do with Thomas Frank, and I know that.
Yeah, it is the club doing the same as what happened last season.
Yeah,
we have an injury problem. We need more players. We tried to sign Mark Gahey.
We tried to sign FC is basically our new name. Like a new translation for the motto "Oder est Verkehre" is basically we tried to get him, honest.
We put in a club record bid, but it was too late.
Club record bid. If the previous record is £2.50 in a Jermaine Genius bobblehead, making a club record bid is not a big deal.
Yeah, I do really get frustrated, like this whole Savinho thing.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have openly said to quite a few people, especially in our group chat and maybe even on the podcast last time, that he is not a player that excited me.
I've just realised, sorry, just very quickly, Monaco, that's where Eric Dyer is.
Is that where he is now?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right then.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I forgot that he's not at Bayern Munich anymore.
I've just seen a tweet from Bayer Leverkusen ahead of the Champions League draw saying we're just hoping we don't get Grimsby.
Boom!
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'd feel bad, but I don't feel bad in any
I
way.
never heard that. Is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Sorry, mate, you were saying before I rudely interrupted you.
What was I saying? Yeah, sorry, Savinho. I wasn't overly excited about the idea of signing Savinho at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a position we should be looking at the wingers. We need a number 10, someone who can play in the middle and play make a bit more. Then it kind of comes out that Man City have said he's definitely not for sale. And then it's, but we were going to offer a club record.
Yeah.
Why were you going to offer it? Why hadn't you offered it? It's just always seems like the club is always about to do something, or we were going to try and do this, but never actually did.
Well, I said to you earlier on about the club are very, very good at PR.
They're not though, because we all see straight through the ball.
You say we all do, but
We don't.
We don't. Unfortunately, like I have a consistent running conversations with people, and they're quite right in what they say to me. It's like, well, you don't know. You're basing what you're saying on what you've been told and what you think, etc. And yeah, okay, you're granted. I am not Daniel Levy. I am not sat in the room, the negotiating room, so I cannot say 100% that this is what has happened, this is what has gone on. But there are certain people that I know that have... I'll give you an example of something that I argued with someone about. Player wages, right? Player wages that get published in the newspapers, that get published all around the place, are rarely, if ever, accurate. There are so many factors in people's wages that seem to get ignored. Like, this person's on 200 grand a week. Well, is that 200 grand gross? Is that after tax? Is that 200 grand a week with this? There's 200 grand a week including their bonuses, excluding bonuses. Like Harry Kane at one point was on 100 grand a week, and people were like, Harry Kane's not earning. He earned, whilst that was his basic, 300 grand a week for that entire season, because he hit every bonus part of it. And the contract was designed that he would hit it, but was designed in a way to, this is
motivate you slightly,
in essence, yeah. But it was designed, it was all very achievable for him, and when he signed it, he probably thought, yeah, no worries. So, but someone I know works in a legal profession and actually executes contracts for the club.
Okay.
Therefore, if that person says to me, they're not earning that, or they're earning double that, they know. They've actually seen it. And although I would never, and they would never, give out confidential information, sometimes I have said, that doesn't seem right. It's like, yeah, it's not.
That seems interesting. Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Yeah, don't even. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, so there are instances where I've been talking to people and people have been like, no, it says this here on like transfermarket.co.uk says he's on 300 grand a week. And I'm like, no, he's not. Yeah, he is, because they wouldn't, or I've got Football Manager and he's on this. I'm like, yeah, but that's all come from a report of a report of a report. That's come from a journalist who, when Tottenham signed him, probably just made up the figure. Like, you don't know. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
The other thing now is, like, the club don't give out contract lengths. So journalists are speaking to agents and managers trying to get that for their pieces. Like, Tottenham have signed this player. We believe it's a 4-year contract.
Yep.
Well, that doesn't give you any information on if there's an extension, a clause.
Of course,
If Tottenham, like, there's so many factors to these different things, and like, again, a contract got executed not long ago for a player. I asked a question like, that seems odd that we've done that, and I got back, yeah, that's bollocks. And I was like, okay, right, there we go.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That would be why. Oh, why would we grant a release clause? We didn't. There we go. Answers that. So, yeah, it just the reporting around that is crazy. But I have these conversations with people all the time where they won't have it, like, because it is reported out there, and it's like, oh, this is fact. I mean, like, I've said this before, and I will always say it. There's plenty of things that I say is my opinion. I always try and stress, oh, this is my opinion. And then there's some things I say, oh, well, that's fact. I know that because of this, and this. And I try and make sure I'm clear which is which, because I am too often left wanting to headbutt things when people are saying opinions and then going, oh, he's crap, fact. No, you think he's crap.
That's
in your
not
opinion.
a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, a fact is like he wears number 4. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's a fact. The shirt he's wearing is white with Tottenham's logo on it. His name's on the back. These are all facts. He's shit is your opinion. And like, no, fact. Whatever.
There was one I saw, like, the fact is, I think he... And I'm like, no, yes, not yet.
There's some painful terminology, and football fandom is a passionate thing, which means sometimes when you're just trying to say to someone, yeah, I get it, that's your opinion though, and I don't agree with you. But it's facts. No, it's not.
No, it's not yet. No.
Anyway, just to round out the transfer stuff, have you seen the stuff about Yves Bissouma today?
Go on.
Well, the rumour is that he was going to Galatasaray. It kind of surprised me when that was said, and the reason why it surprised me is because my understanding is he was desperate to stay in England due to residency rules. But then I was told that he was basically accepting of this as long as it was a season-long loan, because then he would stay registered as a Tottenham player, registered in England, and that would allow him to still get the residency. And then he could leave on a permanent thing. But apparently, and I've not seen any confirmation from anyone of note on this, the deal's collapsed.
Oh.
Because he's not fit.
He's not fit?
Yeah. Well, I know at the weekend they said he had like a muscle injury or something, but I kind of thought that was just an excuse because he was leaving.
Well, yeah, and the fact that he'd had that little bit of a falling out.
Yeah.
I didn't think much more than, he's not been fully reintegrated back into the squad yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
crap.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw a tweet which is kind of funny saying you won't play sides like Frankfurt and Bodo Glimt in the Champions League, and now Tottenham have drawn both of them in the Champions League.
Yep.
Oh dear, it's mad really, isn't it, this world. Yeah, so I don't know, I mean, we got a little while until the transfer window closes, as in days.
What is the official date? 'Cause doesn't it close at like 7 o'clock or something in the evening now?
The 1st of September at 7 p.m, which is, normally it closes at 11 p.m. UK, midnight European time.
Yeah.
But due to the fact they did these 2 windows this summer due to the World Club Cup, something to do with that, they're closing it at 7 p.m. and everyone's doing it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you, I imagine if you work in these clubs, that's a godsend. Because I can't imagine it being open till 11 p.m. is good for your blood pressure if you're, like, trying to get stuff done. At least, like, okay, everyone knows it's 7, alright?
Just know that we're going to come out with some crap at 7:30. Like, we tried for this person.
Mate, don't. Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of really interesting things. Mark Gahey at Palace, to me, is really interesting because he wants Liverpool. He's been adamant waiting for Liverpool all summer. Every approach from every club to Palace have been like, yes, please, and the players have been like, nope. And so
they're stuck in a situation where I completely understand that they do not want to lose a player like him for free.
Exactly, yeah.
100% get that, not a problem, understand that.
Yeah.
The fact that he only wants to go to one team must really be having them like off earth.
Well, it's a problem because, of course, Liverpool are fully focused on Isak from Newcastle.
Yep.
Isak is doing everything he can, barring... By the way, this is quite funny. Other than handing in a transfer request, which someone pointed out to me yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, a good point.
Yeah, you can't hand a transfer request in because then you lose your loyalty bonus.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. Football rules, money in football rules all, right?
Yeah.
Alexander Isak doesn't leave Newcastle this summer. Within a week, he's back training and playing for Newcastle. I genuinely believe that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not paying that sort of money to leave someone just sat in the stands watching, are you?
Oh, not from a club point of view, but from the player point of view. Right now, the player's saying, I'm never playing for this club ever again. I am not doing anything.
Yeah, he's pretty much gone full strike.
It's all of this, and if you really wanted to leave that badly, you'd have handed in a transfer request.
Yep.
Like, because if you hand that in, suddenly Newcastle are like, okay, well that knocks 5-6 million off of this. If Liverpool pay this, we'll let you go. Newcastle are actually desperately trying to sign a striker. They're trying to sign 2.
Yeah.
They can't get anyone. They've got money because they balance their books, and obviously they know that if they can land 2 deals, they can balance the books by selling Isak. But they can't get anyone up there. Like, everywhere they're trying. Even player, like, I think they tried for a Wolves player who was like, oh yeah, I'd be interested, and Wolves have gone, nope, not selling anyone else.
Yeah, they're going in for a second deal. That's Larson or something his name is. I mean, it's not funny, but it's a little bit funny.
It's a little bit
when
funny.
you just look at the fact that this club is doing everything they possibly can to get players to sign, and everyone's just like, nah, I'm alright.
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy. I mean,
it was Sesko, wasn't it? Sesko has gone to Man United.
Yeah.
And Mbeumo went to Man United.
Yeah, they want to get Wissa, who's basically doing the same as Isak. I mean, this is the thing that cracks me up, right? Newcastle fans want Wissa from Brentford. Online, currently slagging off Brentford for digging their heels in, not letting him leave. Those same fans are slagging off Isak for doing the exact same thing that Wissa's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, football fans aren't even, like, they're just hilarious.
You kind of got to laugh at it, ain't you, really?
Like, you're not even seeing the irony here, are you? Any of you?
I can't believe that he's doing this and he's doing that. And yet, everyone's just kind of looking at you going,
Literally, I mean, Anthony Gordon, when you signed him from Everton, literally did the same thing to get out of Everton.
He did. Yeah, he did.
No one pointing that out to anyone. Okay, fair enough. But my point is, going all the way back to Mark Gahey, that's an interesting one I think everyone should look at. He's got 12 months left on his deal. Palace want to sell him. He only wants Liverpool today. The window's closing soon. Now, does the player dig his heels in and decide, all right, if Liverpool haven't come in for me, I'm going to stay. Maybe they'll come in for me in January. Or maybe I'll leave on a free at the end of the season and I've got so many options ahead of me. It is a World Cup year.
He needs to be playing football.
Mark Gahey wants to be playing, and he wants to be playing at the highest level. His odds of being in that England squad are improved at a Champions League team. There's no doubt about that. Like, you are playing Champions League football, you are going to get the nod ahead of someone who isn't, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
Therefore, as this gets closer, does the player start to think, ooh, okay, Liverpool aren't coming in, maybe I will look at other options?
See, I've got a slightly different mindset on this.
Yeah, okay.
I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at that Liverpool squad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we know that Schlott likes having Van Dijk and Konate at the back.
Yeah.
That is his favoured two.
Yeah.
Mark Gahey goes in. He's going to play a rotation option, most likely.
I think he goes straight in for Konate.
You think he goes straight in for Konate?
Considering the problems with Kanate and a contract and stuff at Liverpool, absolutely.
Oh, is he having some issues as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know about that bit, but I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, you're not a guaranteed starter there.
Yeah.
If you come to Spurs, he's not getting in the squad ahead of Mickey or Kuti.
No.
We are hopefully going to rotate the squad a lot, but I'm not saying he's going to start in front of those two. He signs a new deal and stays at Palace. He's guaranteed to be first name on the team sheet every week.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, but let's work our way through it. So, if he, at the moment, and I can only say at the moment, he has told Palace no new deal, no chance I'm extending.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, not interested at all. You are 100% right. If this window closes and Palace come back to him again and say, look, we really want you here, like we want to build a team around you. Because the other thing Palace have got, and it's a bit of a problem, is they have sold like one of their top players, a couple of top players over the last few years.
Yep.
They are in a potential problem where the players at that club are going to be looking all the time of my next move.
We're suddenly a selling club. Okay.
Exactly. You know, they've just won the FA Cup. They've just got into Europe for the first time. You'd be thinking that's them building on that team, not losing it. And
they've lost Eze. If they were to lose a Wharton or a Gahey, all of a sudden, you're looking at that guy.
Well, I genuinely think next summer Wharton is the £100+ million player that the big Manchester clubs, Chelsea and Liverpool, are fighting over. I really do. I mean, I love him at Tottenham, but we missed the boat. We should have signed him when Palace signed him, but we didn't.
Yeah, agreed.
And so we've missed that. And he's for me, I think he's up there and is slightly surpassed Rice. But if I was an England manager right now and I was playing 4-2-3-1, for example, I'd have Rice and Wharton as the two, and I'd be delighted with that. But that's a whole other conversation. So the window does close on the 1st. It is international break, but I think we are going to do a show again because I think to discuss the window in its entirety when it's closed, and obviously we'll touch on the.
That could be fun or really depressing. One of two ways.
Well, it's interesting because a window, can only be really judged when it's closed. Right now, I feel like we've made a real mess of it. And even if we make some very good signings before it closes, I still think real questions need to be asked about our approach to transfer windows. Because Ange's first season with us in the summer, he worked directly with a scout who was the right-hand man and top scout for Paratici before he had to leave due to legal reasons.
Yeah.
What him and Ange did together was they worked through a list of players and then they systematically went about signing them. They went after Raya, couldn't agree a deal with Raya, and we signed Vicario 2 days later. They went after Todibo, couldn't agree a deal with Todibo, and signed Van der Ven 3 days after. The way Paratici worked was always to be negotiating with multiple targets at once to then pull the trigger on the deal when you were ready. This means that if one falls down, you're not starting from scratch with Plan B. And also Plan B doesn't feel like Plan B because it hasn't hit the public, kind of domain of everyone in this country knows we went for Eze and we lost out to him. No one in this country knows we made an offer to the lad at Leicester and we didn't get him.
Yeah.
But we did. The club are saying, we never went in for that defender at Leverkusen, Hincape. No, that's all nonsense. We didn't do it. Yeah, we did. I can actually prove we did if needed. And that, again, just shows the PR and spin at work. The player, again, like Eze, wanted Arsenal. So we went in, we got the agreement, and the players said, "No, Arsenal have come in for me, and that's where I want to go." So the club immediately, considering what had just happened with Esse, went, "Oh crap," and have tried to PR spin it and cover it over, and they've done a really good job. I don't see anyone screaming about that, but it is the exact same things happened.
But I think the reason people aren't screaming about that is because a lot of English football fans probably haven't got any idea who that guy is.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Whereas Eze, everyone in England knows who he is because he's performing well for club and country.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so that is our show, though. So we will be back next week, despite the international break, because we're going to talk about the transfer window. Also, we're going to talk about the Bournemouth game. I have an ex from Bournemouth, so I really want us to win this a lot, for so many reasons. But yeah, until next week, everybody, keep your heads down. Keep saying prayers to all your gods for the transfers that we need. I think if we get 3 in, we'll be okay. 4 will be amazing. 2 is the club target. 1 is probably where we're going to be. And none would be a disaster. But yeah, until next time, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.